Hello everyone, it's me ShortNature here, back with a brand new video. So in this video we're going to be talking about what Luke Smith had to say in this article for yesterday, because I'm recording this video tonight, actually at midnight. If you guys will stay tuned, hopefully I will live stream tomorrow. Hopefully I don't have nothing to do tomorrow. If there is, I apologize. They will be having a live stream about the Armor Set 2.0, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. That is going to be on Mixer, Twitch, and of course on YouTube. So they completely understand that a lot of people do not have Twitch. If you guys do know, Twitch is very hard to kind of watch in the areas that you're in, and especially at schools and colleges. Twitch do not tend to stream everywhere. This article is pretty long. If you guys don't know, it's a pretty lengthy article. Somebody said it was about a 4,000 page article that he wrote about the state of Destiny 2. And I know a lot of you have some concern about Destiny 2 at this point, about the grind and everything like that. We're going to be talking about that in a different topic about the grind of Destiny 2. Luke Smith hears a lot of your concerns. He hears a lot of your frustration with this game. He understands this, judging by the summary of the article that I'm going to give you. I'm going to read some key things that were really important throughout the article because like somebody said, this is a pretty lengthy article. He pretty much put his heart and soul into this article. If you guys do not know about Luke Smith, he was a journalist before he kind of got himself involved into video game development. So he was a video game journalist throughout his years, so he knows how to write, he knows how to communicate with people, and communication is the key thing when it comes to Destiny 2. They like to communicate with their fans and their base. Some people said that they do not listen to their fans, but trust me, they do listen to their fans. So I'm gonna skim through the article as we go. I'm gonna read some, like I said, I'm gonna read the ones that are very important. And I think it was mostly majority for me when I was reading through the article. It was mainly about Season of the Drifter. Season of the Drifter was a downing season for me. I don't know for some of you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below throughout the annual pass what was the more depressing season for you. And he did mention that, doing the annual pass took a toll on the team because look, you got so much you got to do, changing different season, changing different things, and listening to everybody's concerns about what they want in a different season. For me personally, like I said, Season of the Drifter was that one season that I didn't really enjoy. Like, I was excited about Gambit Prime. Yes, I grind a lot in Gambit Prime, but at the same time, it just wasn't there for me. And that is the portion of the article that I'm going to read through for you guys. And like I said, leave me your concerns and comments down below what you guys think. And let's get into that topic. Season of the Drifter Thoughts Part 1. So when I was reading through the article, they didn't want to remove stuff from Destiny 2 or remove this. What he's trying to say in this part of the Part 1 about Season of the Drifter, he don't want to remove anything from Destiny 2. As you can see the portion of the article, and I'm not going to read it through you, but you guys can read it through yourself or pause the video. Basically he was talking about he liked Gambit Prime. And no doubt in my mind, I do like Gambit Prime. The matches end quicker, which is true. They are a little bit more quicker than it was with Gambit. But with, with the season of, with the Solstice of Heroes, I tend to jump into Gambit. I felt like it's a little bit more quicker to get the things done because I'm with noobs and I'm with people that tend to basically, how I put in a sense, just stand around and they don't really do anything in Gambit Prime. Not to get off topic, the matches end quicker. Yes, it does. Invading frequency feels lower. Yeah, if you can say that. From my opinion, it's not like how it is with Gambit. They invade every hour, every minute in Gambit. I don't know if you guys really noticed that about Gambit. Every time you try to bank your moat, somebody's invading every second, every hour. The invading feels a little bit lower. It depends on your playstyle. That is the only thing about Gambit. It really depends on your playstyle. The thing with Gambit Prime was, and I think a lot of people fail to understand, Gambit Prime was not Gambit. Gambit Prime was completely different. And this is where the reckoning kind of comes in. That is part 2 of that article that we're going to get into. A lot of people didn't understand the ecosystem of Gambit Prime. You had to have basically, in order for you to play Gambit Prime, you had to have a group of people that understand about Gambit Prime. You had to have an invader, a sentry, the person that collects the moat, and the person that takes down the enemies. Basically, I was all in one when it comes to Gambit Prime. And the Reckoning has a lot to do with that because the armor set is in the Reckoning, if you guys don't know that. And the Reckoning is just one of those game modes that shouldn't have just been by itself. I think the armor set and, of course, the weapon shouldn't have been in the Reckoning. I think the Reckoning should have had its own weapon sets, and the Gambit Prime armor set that you need to get in order for you to kind of like get through Gambit should have been in Gambit Prime. And I think a lot of people will be more focused about Gambit. Now, they're not good. I hear a lot of people in the community saying that they want to remove Gambit, that Gambit don't need to come back in Destiny, and that's me, because I feel like it's just one of those game modes that people don't really understand, and it really frustrates me. And hopefully with, of course, Destiny 2 New Light, and you have new lights coming into this game, this is a free to play game in October. Hopefully that, you know, some of those people in there that will understand how to play Gambit Prime. Highlanders of Gambit, you know, this is it. This was something that a lot of us was looking forward to as PvE players. Although a lot of people suggest, and even I suggest, that maybe they should make another Gambit Prime where it just focus on banking your moats. That'd have been something really fun. Let's see who is the quickest team to take down their enemies, or something like that in that nature. That'd have been really fun without the invaders involved. When I first heard the announcement about Gambit, I thought the invaders weren't going to be involved in Gambit, and then I saw the invaders were involved, and then it was just pathetic. It was aggravating. I felt like I was in the Crucible all over again, because they kept invading every hour, every minute. And I kind of understand, because there's requirements that you had to get for the trophy case or whatever thing you had to get, you know, whatever. Anyways, it was just so aggravating because they kept invading. Then when I was going through that process too, and seeing the, you know, the list of requirements that you have to get to complete this, to get this, and I was like, oh, I completely understand why people are invading every hour, every minute. We think Gambit is sweet, and it deserves more ongoing support. We want to ultimately focus that support on whatever rich modes end up being the Highlander, and there can be only one. And I feel like Gambit Prime just need to stay. I feel like Gambit just need to take it out of the equation, because that's just pathetic. Like, I don't want to do 2 rounds of that foolishness. Just give me Gambit Prime 1 round, and I think it will come a little bit more faster and quicker. Invading is not so high on the list as much as Gambit, and the efficiency feels a little bit more efficient to me. Like, I can go into Gambit Prime and don't have any problem. When I go into Gambit, I have to deal with the invaders every hour, every minute, and that's my aggravation when it comes to Season of the Drifter, and when it comes to Gambit and Gambit Prime. Season of the Drifter Thoughts Part 2, aka let's talk about the Reckoning. Now, if you guys do not know, everybody hates the Reckoning. People feel like the Reckoning was a waste of space when it came to the Season of the Drifter. When I first heard about the Reckoning, the first thing that came to mind was Court of Orcs. I don't know why, but that was the first thing that came to mind. And I thought, okay, the Reckoning is going to be like some sort of game mode that we just go in there and we do this. I feel like it was a broken concept, because a lot of people went into the Reckoning not knowing that they have to turn into whatever mode that they have to get the armor set, in order for them to understand the process of Gambit Prime, where you have your invader set, your sentry set, your collector set, and your Reckoning set, which is where you wreck the enemies, and it will gives you a little bit more damage ability and this and that. There were so many different things happening that season. I think a lot of people didn't understand. There is tons of videos that I put out about how to get the Reckoning and how to encounter the Reckoning, and a lot of people didn't understand that, oh, that's how you unlock the Reckoning. I didn't know you had to go through this process. For me personally, the Well of Radiance effect on PvE game. He was talking about Ditto has a great video talking about that. The Well of Radiance is one of the most efficient, most powerful super for a Warlock. That is the #1 thing you need to have active if you're doing any activity. If you're a Warlock, is the Well of Radiance. That effect in PvE games will change a game forever. So that super is really great to really have if you're a Warlock. The Reckoning in the Season of Drifter, we got a taste of what kind of content we need to build around the challenging protocol wearing Warlocks. Match-made encounters that accost you from all directions, plant snipers off in the distance, and putting players in between pictures attacks of many whelps and handle it. I want to link to think here, but I definitely not. T for team. The giant bosses, also if you're a night taking guy. Yeah, when I play in the Reckoning, like you're getting wrecked. You're basically like a wrecking ball in the Reckonings, and that's a good name about the Reckoning. Like you're getting attacked from all sides in the corner, and so much is happening in the Reckoning. When I go in the Reckoning, the match, like you cannot go in there solo. You have to go in there with a team if you want to play the Reckoning. That's the only thing about the Reckoning that I really didn't understand, is that people go in there, they don't understand the whole aspect of the Reckoning, and they just leave, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? So that's the thing that, you know, they need to change. And this is some of the things they were talking about, the encounter design. So he was like, let's talk about the encounter design. Generally in activities we expect players to complete alone. Dungeons, raids, 0-hour type activities can play by a different set of priorities, or in a match-made groups. There are a number of guidelines we use when we're building them. So they were talking about the encounters and what the encounters you're going to be coming across. Like for me, I'm just like, God damn it, these enemies are everywhere, and all this type of stuff. So they said we don't want a spawning enemy behind the player, but I always feel like the enemy is always behind you anyways. I want players to play the game of taking space from the enemies. We want players to have cover where their shields and health can recharge, or where they can get to be smart and use geometrics, movements, and ability and gunplay to dig enemies out of cover and make interesting decisions about targets prioritizations. We want players to be able to understand where they're in the space of enemies will come from. If we're going to reserve the combat in front of the players, aka spawn enemies behind them, we want them to telegraph that. We use our drop sets, spawn clouds, auto queues, and all kinds of tricks to try and prepare the players for reinforcements. As the character power was dramatically increased, more on reasons for the increase later on. The encounter rules got thrown out the window. So the encounter rules got thrown out the window. So basically, you know, if you kind of notice that when you're playing like any other activity, like the Menagerie or the Forages or the Reckoning or Gambit, you kind of understand the cues. Like when I'm playing Destiny, like, you know, when I'm not recording or whatever, I'm not streaming or whatever, and I kind of notice the encounters where they're coming from. Like people usually text me in the strikes, like how you know how to dodge enemies, how you know how to do this. And I said, well, I'm an OG Destiny 1 player. So I used to play, there were strikes in Destiny 1 that kind of teach you the encounters and kind of got you prepared the encounters are going to be coming from. So people need to understand that I'm an old school Destiny 1 player, and the strikes are nothing compared to the strikes in Destiny 2. I'm just sorry, I feel like the strikes in Destiny 1 is a little tad better than the strikes in Destiny 2, because basically they're the rehash strikes of the old missions from the previous DLCs. That's just how I look at those strikes. I'm like, well, I already did this strike already because it was a story mission. It wasn't a strike. Those strikes that they put in Destiny 2, I mean, that's like an unfinished job. And I completely understand they probably didn't have a window to do this and do that, but now they don't have other outside voices telling them to push, try to get this kind of done. They're pretty much by themselves now. They're an independent company. I'm gonna let you guys know that. This is the reason why Shadowkeep is being delayed. They want to give you a finished product game. They want to give you a game that you can talk for ages throughout December, like The Taken King. Like people were playing The Taken King until they ran out of gas, and that was a good thing about The Taken King. So he kind of summarized everything, kind of talking about the efficiency, the sweet gear, and all that good stuff. And like I said, you guys can read this on your own, but I was reading some of the more important parts about Seasons of the Drifter that I feel like, you know, it wasn't that type of season that I really enjoyed. Like Season of Opulence was like a season that I really want to enjoy because of the Menagerie, the cool weapons, the cool armor set you can get in there, and in different ways of getting the ruins and all that good stuff. And I felt like Season of Opulence was something really good. So if you guys check out the picture right now on your screen, it says this fall bounties will be separated from the quests, and PC players can assign a hotkey that takes them directly to the pursuits menu. So that's a good thing. That was the more aggravating part right now of the pursuits menu, because everything's all bunched up together, because you have the quest lines and then you have the bounties all mixed in, so you don't know what's a quest line and what's a bounty. So they separate those from those going to be from those activities this fall when Shadowkeep drops. Everything is going to be on a separate little tab by itself. So thank God. There was something like that in Destiny 1 where you had the pursuits on one side and then you had the quest line on this, well, the bounties on this side, and it made life, trust me, it will make life 10 times much easier than anything. So I don't want to make this video too long, because it was like I said, it was a pretty lengthy article, but there was some good things looking ahead for Destiny 2 that we need to look out for, and that is supers in PvP and just PvP in general in Destiny 2. So make sure you guys check out the links in the description down below, kind of detailing about me, kind of talking about my PvP experience. They're going to be talking more about armor sets, stats, and mods tomorrow in tomorrow's live stream. So hopefully I will bring that video for you guys pretty soon. Powerful sources and prime engrams in the world. They're going to be talking about those, maybe some changes ahead about the power sources, the prime engrams, and what the world have in store. Damage numbers and damage stack rules and more. So there's a lot they're going to be making changes this year, and they're going to be more focused on upgrading on Shadowkeep, and then of course things ahead. But I think their main focus for Shadowkeep is mostly the armor set, and basically supers, and definitely PvP. PvP is getting a major overhaul. If you guys do not know, PvP is getting a script remodel, remake in Destiny 2 when Shadowkeep drops. They're gonna have more details and information about PvP in the near future. I don't know if they're gonna be talking about it in the live stream tomorrow, but yeah, PvP needs a straight overhaul. It needs to be stripped to like the bare backbones, because PvP right now is basically mayhem. And I talked to you guys about my experience about PvP, and some of you guys agree with my key points that watch my videos. Yes, PvP is seriously needs to be, yeah, I'm sorry, that's not the PvP that I remember in Destiny 1. Like the PvP I remember in Destiny 1, I used to go in PvP every single day. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, that was another video that I talked about that. So there's a lot of things coming ahead for Destiny, and I think Destiny has a bright future. It just needed to get away from Activision. I think Activision was holding back Destiny at this point, and I feel like they were pushing them to get an unfinished game, and it didn't need that. Mostly in this article, he was talking about the annual pass, and the annual pass with them, it was very difficult because, you know, you had different seasons, you had different activities, like the Black Armory deal with bounties. We had to get bounties done and turn those in, you know, get the logs, go to whatever forge and forge whatever weapon that we needed. Then with Season of Drifter, I mean, you have the Reckoning, but, you know, a lot of people didn't really grind for those weapons, because technically in the Reckoning, none of those weapons weren't dropping. And they're going to fix the drop rate this month, actually, after the season of, not the season, but the Solaces of Heroes event's going to be over. And of course, like I said, Shadowkeep is delayed, so they got to keep the player base kind of going. So they're going to make sure that the drop rate in the Reckoning is going to be a little bit more easier, and they're going to fix the Reckoning this month, and of course heading into September. So yeah, that was about the Season of Drifter. I mean, he didn't really had a season that really got people excited. If you want my honest opinion, did anybody really enjoy Season of Drifter? Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, a lot of people, even when I watched some of the streamers, they weren't streaming too much of Gambit. They got tired of Gambit Prime, if we want to put it in that sense. Gambit Prime is a fun game mode. It is. And he does have a point. Like, the invaders are not invading too much. Just put it in that sense. Season of the Opulence was a really great season. They had a really great things in store for us, you know, and I really appreciate that. And that was a good thing. the quest lines and all that stuff, getting the weapons and old weapons back and doing different activities and doing all those good things, that was a good add-on. And hopefully those add-ons will come into the near future with Shadowkeep, and hopefully they have more quest lines. Hopefully they're not time limited, but hopefully they're quest lines that we can get done and all that cool stuff. And of course with the menagerie felt like a dungeon, so that's a good thing about with the menagerie. It felt like a dungeon type of style, and that kind of brought back memories of, you know, Court of Oryx. And we're going to be talking about Destiny 1 and revisiting Destiny 1 with the activities that you had to do in Destiny 1 compared to Destiny 2 activities. It's nothing compared to Destiny 1. I used to go into Court of Oryx every single day, and it was a fun time with me and my friends. And now half my friends don't want to play Destiny anymore because it didn't live up to the expectation that they had with Rise of Iron and of course with the Taken King. And of course he talked a little bit more about, you know, with Bright Dust in Eververse this fall, she's going to be having some more changes and all that stuff. The cost to finish set in silver will be reduced by 60%. So we're talking about some things about dropping some prices, giving you guys some discounts. And then of course a lot of good things looking forward ahead. We made some choices related to the cosmetic items and not having them come from the gameplay. Gameplay rewards are where you get your items, power, mods, perks, combination stats, triumphs, and titles. So they were talking about some stuff about people's like, why can't, when we go into the open world, I think a lot of people was wondering why can't the cosmetic items be dropped from like activities that we did, like strikes and all that good stuff. Why they have to be been bought in the store? So there's a lot of key things that a lot of people has been talking about. We're continuing to try to separate capability and gameplay from the vanity. Armor 2.0 and universal ornaments are the big parts of this separations. That is also why finisher perks are mods that can be stocked into equipment. So, you know, Armor 2.0 is going to be very interesting tomorrow. That is going to be the live stream for tomorrow. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because it seems like they're going to be talking about Armor Set 2.0 and the biggest changes that we have with the mods and all that stuff. As always, we are welcome with your feedback and thoughts. So if you have any thoughts or anything, still voice your concern in a nice way. Don't voice your concern in a nasty way. Go in the community tabs, go on Bungie forums, go on the Reddit posts, even go on Twitter, go into the content creators page, you know, give your full opinion about the state of the game, and they will make sure that they'll talk about it in their videos or talk about it with the developers when they go to, you know, Bungie Studios and all that good stuff. So that's a good thing about this community. We all come together. Yes, we tend to eat each other sometimes, but at the end of the day, we want this game to be a successful game. We don't want this game to be like how it is with Anthem at this point, trying to figure out ways to bring their player base back. At this point, I'm not going back to Anthem. It's a little dollar late, dollar too short to kind of like bring everybody back to Anthem. At this point, you had a chance to fix this game. You had till 2020 to fix this game, quite frankly. You could have released Anthem that year with the next gen console, and I think it would have been a really good game with competition with Destiny. But, you know, Anthem was on their high horse and thought like, oh, well, people don't like this season of the Drifter and all this stuff, and they thought they had an opportunity, and no, you didn't. You did not have an opportunity. You had a failed opportunity. In the meantime, I apologize if this video was long. I just want to voice my opinion, read some key things that I thought was very important, and of course give my honest opinion at the same time, because it's always good when you're reading through something, you come across something that, you know, that caught your eye. You want to give that opinion to you guys, and of course you guys will leave your comments down below how you feel about what he had to say. The article and the link will be in the description down below. You guys take the time to read what you have to read. It was a really good article. It was very lengthy, and they understand the fully state of this game. They understand that they need to make some changes to make this game to be what it is today. Because I remember Destiny 1, it was and then it got better, then it got better, then it got awesome, then it got really awesome, and then it got really grindy and got really awesome, and the grind meant something. The grind in Destiny 2 for me feels a little stale. Like, yeah, they're there. I want to grind for this stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to grind for this stuff. So hopefully we can go back to those days where it's like, yeah, it's worth the grind. If you have any questions or any concerns about anything mentioned in this video, just voice your opinion down below. And please don't leave nasty comments in the comment section, because I'm going to delete them, because quite frankly, at this day and age, life is short. And I don't want you guys, you upset about this, you upset about that. There is a million videos and a million people and content creators onto this platform talking about the same thing that I'm talking about right now. Go to them, and trust me, if you go to them, they're going to be 10 times much longer than anything. Okay? In the meantime, I will catch you guys in my next post.